Oh yeah, welcome to the Intuitive Empire. I'm your host, Jaya Rose, and we can finally get started because you are here. And if you are ready to energetically align with your desires, own your innate magic, and step powerfully into your spiritual leadership, well, love, you're in the right place. Let's do the damn thing already. Hey you guys, welcome. I am divinely guided to share this topic with you. Have you seen my posts on my personal page about the gal who was having an issue with my eyebrows on Instagram, and it turned very sour, very, very sour. And it has really, really inspired me. And I just was thinking, I was just cleaning my kitchen before I'm about to record this. And I was like, I was thinking how really I just want to write her back and say thank you for the content, because it has been amazing content that it's given me. And I think it's important for us all to look at. So you guys, as you are here, make sure to say hello. Tell me if you can hear me, because I'm going to just be recording here in a minute. So let me know if you can hear me. Say hello in the comments. Event logs. I don't know what this means. Invite friends. This could be fun. Okay, I'll invite friends. Why not? All right, so you guys, will you let me know that you can hear me and see me in the comments? And it does take, sometimes, I don't know, I went live from my computer, so it can be a little bit weird. I just want to make sure that I should have this on. And yeah, hi Fran, how are you? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. So awesome. I'm going to get started here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit record. I'm actually just recording on my phone, and then I'm just going to be riffing. So if you have any comments, there you go. Yay. Hello, Tony. Let me know, and you'll catch on. You will hear all the things. Okay. So here we go. Hey there, and welcome back to the Intuitive Empire. Today, we're going to be talking about loving the haters and what it really means to be in leadership and also take full responsibility for how you respond, and also really for how people respond to you, which can be really challenging, right? We put ourselves out there because we care about something. We have a mission. We want to show up. We want to help people. And then what happens inevitably when you have enough visibility and you are polarizing enough, meaning you're standing in your truth and you're sharing that truth unapologetically, what is guaranteed to happen is that people are gonna hate. They're gonna hate. And it's funny because I never use the word hate, but I think we all know what it means, right? We all understand what this means to have a hater. And ultimately, it means that this person is seeing something in you that triggers them to have a negative response. And not everybody is willing to have a negative response, but some people are. And a number of them are on the internet. So it's not just, being attacked or cyberbullied, but there's a lot of layers to this. So I'm going to speak specifically to what has been going on with me recently and what prompted me to want to talk about this. And I'm also going to speak to just the differences that come up online. Now, because we are headed into an election season and it is a hot topic, you can see clearly how agitated people are and how many opportunities there are to come back to love, to choose again, and to allow someone to have their own experience without projecting your experience about their experience onto them. And this can be challenging even just when somebody disagrees with you. But it can be even more challenging when it arrives in your inbox in the form of criticism and an attack. And the part about this that I want to share with you, I'm not going to go into all the details. I did share a bunch of this stuff on my personal profile on Facebook because I love to share real-time growth and what's happening and how I'm dealing with it, because I've put myself in the position of leadership, and I think it's only fair to be actually transparent in what is going on. And I also don't want to give it energy, because the more that we talk about it, the more lip service we give it, the more it shows up. And this is just true. And so I'm not going to go into a ton of the story for you, but what I will tell you is that polarity is an important law of the universe to understand. When you understand that polarity is working at all times and that it creates contrast, then we can start to not take things like what I'm about to tell you about so personally. Now, I actually am seeing this as a good thing at this point, but what happened is this gal saw a video of mine on Instagram, and she ended up actually replying to the video, and I actually got a strange vibe from her just from her comment. And if you read the actual words, there's nothing negative that happened. And so I want to pause here and empower you and embolden the idea that we always do know, and that just because we're in the online space or we're reading just text, we can often think like, oh, am I crazy? Did I make up that there was this energy behind this? And I want to say to you, no, you're not making anything up. You are an intuitive being. You are a sensitive being, and you feel, and what you feel is true. It is true. Now, I think where people get off course is they start reacting, and that can change things. But I felt right away that there wasn't resonance. And it's funny because I usually do answer people back when they comment on my videos, but I didn't answer her back. And what happened is I got a DM maybe 3 days later, and it said something like, you are really lovely, and I just found you and started following you. And I wrote back and was like, that's so cool. Awesome. I love that. And within a couple more days after that, she wrote me an insult about my eyebrows and told me that she couldn't watch me because my eyebrows are too far apart, and gave me 2 thumb down emojis. And when I read it, at first I was like, okay, what? WTF. It's like the first reaction you're going to have to this, right? You're just like, what does this have to do with anything, first of all? And what if I had some crazy disease that was like eating away at my eyebrows? Like, it is just so not okay to be mean to people. What if it was something I was really insecure about? What if I was having a really bad day already and I decided to throw in the towel because it was too much to handle? And I just think that we need to be so careful with the energy that we put towards people and the words we use, because you never know. Now, luckily, I have a strong sense of self and a lot of self-confidence. And I didn't get offended ultimately about, like, I didn't take it as truth, right? And so that's really great. But I do see that a lot of people would, and I feel so much compassion for people that have to deal with other people talking about their looks. Now, I don't believe that it's okay to criticize people at all. Like, my love language is words of affirmation. And so the very worst thing you can do in relationship with me is criticize. And therefore, I've worked a lot on my own criticizing of other people, because it just is not helpful. It's not helpful to me, and I don't find that it's helpful for other people. And I do think that it's even more important to not criticize people for things that they can't control. And that this is, it just could be so painful for people. And I decided to take the high road, and I actually didn't even respond. And I just actually did an Instagram story about, giving a message around what I would want to say, like, what would I actually want to say to somebody? And ultimately it's just like, wow, you must be hurting, and sending you love. And I hope that you feel better. Like, I hope that you find happiness, because this is, it's neither here nor there for me at this point, what you have to say about me. And I ended up putting it on Facebook too. And I do think that these are important topics, because I wonder, you as a listener right now, you're listening to this and you have a vision and you have a mission, and you want to put yourself out there, because visibility is a big part of actually sharing your message. When you have a message in your heart and you don't share it and you don't take the risk and you're not showing the courage to show up, ultimately that message just remains in your heart. And that message is meant to be shared. And this is something that I have been preaching and talking about since I first came into the online space 4 years ago. It is so evident to me that when we have a calling, we must answer that call. And yet, if you are thinking, well, yeah, but I don't want stuff like this to happen. I don't want haters. I mean, so many sensitive women find it really challenging to put themselves out there because they feel fear of being judged. And I hear so many women talk about this where they feel fear of being judged by people who know them. And if you're scared of the people who know you judging you, you're probably going to be even more scared of people who you don't know. Because people you know, you can at least like talk to and relate to. But what if there were just mass amounts of people who didn't even like you? Now, for somebody who wants to be liked and who maybe has people-pleasing tendencies, these are some really great reasons to hold yourself back. And that is exactly why I'm having this conversation right now. That's why I'm recording this podcast, because it's not okay. It's not okay for you, for me, for us to keep quiet, to hold a message that is coming through, that has come on your heart for a reason, in fear of stuff like this happening. So I want to show you that it is possible to be a highly sensitive woman whose love language is words of affirmation and who really cares deeply about who she's affecting and how she's affecting them, and also have compassion for people who bring the hate. Now, I am not a veteran at this, because I will tell you that most of what I have received in the online space has been completely positive. Like, I am so blessed and so lucky to have had such a positive experience, as I know that some people haven't had that. And at the same time, I also know that when these sticky situations happen and the contrast comes in, it is relevant to you rising. It is relevant to you rising, because as you rise and you expand and you say, I'm ready for more, I can hold this. My capacity is now big enough for X, Y, and Z, whatever you're declaring. Well, the universe is going to send you that energy, but the energy is just energy, and negative energy and positive energy create contrast, which is always happening in the universe. And when you start to play with the universe and you open yourself up to something bigger than you, and it's not just hustling that's going to get the job done, but it's actually co-creation and manifestation, then we have to be willing to see things like this as evidence that your desires are all coming to you. And this reframe is the way to do it. This is really what I have found. Now, I think this can be used in any situation that you get something that you don't want when you're asking for something that you do want. And I want you to start to recognize the intensity. So I'll tell you what happened today. The stuff that happened with her was yesterday, and I did my Instagram story, and she ended up watching it and replying back. So I woke up to 9 unread messages from her. And I also had another message from a beautiful woman who has a very popular podcast, and it's called The Vibrant Happy Woman. And I know a number of people, I wonder if you found me there, because so many people have told me I found you on the Vibrant Happy Woman podcast. And this woman, Jen Ride, is so incredible. Dr. Jen Ride, I should say. And I met her at a speaking intensive that I went to, and she was also in my inbox asking me to be a speaker on her symposium. Now, this is such a beautiful opportunity, one, because it's probably a larger audience than I have, and also it's women who are like hungry for the message that I have. They're not oversaturated with the idea that energy is really important and how to up level your energy and elevate it and expand it and hold the capacity for what you desire. Now, these women really, really crave this type of conversation, right? So it's beautiful and amazing. So this is really cool. Now, what happened is that I ended up not looking at the other gal's thing because it was first thing in the morning and I'm protective of my energy. Now, this is another side note to remember that you get to choose. If you know somebody's bringing funky energy to your space, well, maybe you want to deal with it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to block them. Doesn't matter what you choose, but choose it wisely and choose it in reverence to your energy, understanding that you being thrown off is not helpful to anybody. So I chose to engage with my girlfriend, Jen, and I just brought this, like, I was just feeling so good. And she was like, oh my gosh, your energy is amazing. She's like, I want some of this energy. And she even said something to the effect of, you just have this like pure energy. It feels like Jesus energy to me. And now I don't know the Bible that well, but she compared herself to a disciple. And I think it was supposed to be like lower energy. And I was like, okay, well, this is cool. This is not anything that I have heard before or been compared to before, but I just took it as like radiating energy and a clear channel, right? Which ultimately, the more clear we are as a channel, the more we can affect people and be of impact to other people because we aren't being clouded by all our own stuff. Now, this was such a cool moment. And I was like, ooh, there is so much synergy around this. She wants exactly what I have. There is nothing better for me than to feel relevant and to feel like I'm being of service and really that my gifts are being used. Like the thing that I desire the most in this world is just to use my gifts. And when I do, and I show up in that power, it's like everything is great. And I do love to have a business and make money as well, but it's not even about that for me as much as it's about just having the opportunity to share my gifts. So to have her, be so excited about the energy I'm bringing, and also to have this platform and this whole audience of women who really need what I have to share is like the best thing ever. And then after that, I thought, well, okay, I'm ready to see what this other guy has to say because I need to block her anyway. Like if she's going to bring negativity after I sent her well wishes to her already negativity, then I'll just block her. I have no problem doing that. And there were 9 messages, and I'm not going to get into it because we're on a high vibe here. I don't know exactly what they said because I just skimmed them, but I felt immediately very negative energy and insults and pictures of her and pictures of me and my eyebrows. Like it was crazy. Okay, let's just be real. And I was like, block. Okay. And then within half an hour, a message came through from my website that was really nasty. And again, I didn't read the whole thing. The very last sentence, all I know is it said, I pity you. And I just thought, well, God bless you, woman. God bless you that you would take this much time and energy. And can we just for a minute talk about the energy of criticism? When we criticize ourselves, we ultimately are saying to the universe that I want negativity in my life. And there are so many people walking around criticizing themselves, and they are the sweetest people. And you might even relate to this on some level, that you criticize yourself and then you wonder, why am I getting all this weird stuff in my life? Why am I not getting the super clear channel, the downloads that I see other people receiving, and the abundance pouring into my life? And it could be just this simple, could be just criticism. Because when we knock ourselves down, we don't create a clear and solid foundation for our desires to blossom and manifest. It's basically like watering our seeds of desires with toxic water. And when we criticize ourselves so much that we find it completely normal to criticize strangers on the internet, wow, we are very much creating a toxic environment for ourselves. And this is how I look at it. So I think that part of the conversation is understanding that you still need to put yourself out there, and that there may be certain situations that hurt you more than other situations, but also the polarity that exists and the contrast that exists between the gal who messaged me and invited me to speak on her symposium and compared me to Jesus vibes, and the gal who had a complete conniption fit and basically self-imploded with anger and criticism towards me. Are these two things different from one another? Now, they are the flip sides of two coins, because polarity has multiple sides. In magnetism, we have the positive and the negative side of the magnet. So they are, in that way, completely opposite and simultaneously the exact same. Because intensity is intensity. I had an intense interaction, a beautiful, intense interaction, all because of my vibration and what I'm capable of and what I'm holding the vision for and what I have the capacity to receive. So good, so amazing, boom. And then on the flip side of that, such a shit show and just chaos and so much reaction. Reaction. Are they the same? Yes, the reaction in some ways is at a similar, well, in some ways is the same because it's at the same intensity. Now, this is so incredibly valuable to look at, because as you start to open yourself up for greater possibility to come and more abundance to come and more leadership and more of the ability to hold that big vision and the dreams you have, you don't get to choose everything that comes in. You don't get to choose what comes in, but you do get to choose what you hold on to. You get to choose what you hold on to. And so this is the thing to focus on. So we don't focus on, oh my God, I got this opportunity. This is amazing. Yes, celebrate. I love that. But that opportunity does not define me. What it does say is I am in alignment with that vibration and I choose it. And so the most powerful thing I can do is choose yes. The most powerful thing I can do is put my energy towards that. But still, it doesn't define me, because if it defined me, then I wouldn't be good enough if I didn't get it. So it doesn't make me better to get it. And still, it's the focus. And so the other gal who put all this intensity out, I get to choose. I get to choose if I desire to keep that. And very quickly, I flushed it out. Even as I'm talking to you now about it and I'm, giving it some energy, I feel no energy going towards it. And you know the difference, right? When you're activated around a scenario, around drama, around a story, you feel that intensity inside of you. And that is very attractive. You are ultimately opening up your frequency to attract that vibration. And that's why we don't want to do that. But we have to also remember that it's the activation, not the act. So I could sit here and tell you that story, and I can even tell you how I felt around it. And if I don't have activation around it, then it's neutral. Right? So the choices we make around these type of scenarios are so much bigger than just in the moment. They're so much bigger than your character, than your business, than even the reaction you have, because it truly is about your vibration. The reason that those things came to me was something in my vibration. Something in my vibration said yes to that intensity. And now it's true, right? It's in human form, and I can see it. I can see it as opportunities. I can see it as situations, and I just get to choose. So what would open up for you if releasing the fear of visibility, releasing some of the fear around showing up, releasing the fear around what if people don't like me? What if they disapprove of me? And recognizing that it's all just energy, and that yes, it's negative and positive energy, but as you allow it all to come in, and don't try to block it before it comes in, because you don't know what you're blocking if you block, right? And I'm not talking about physically blocking the person. I'm talking about protection, the inevitable playing small that keeps us safe. And what does it keep us safe from? What are we the most afraid of? Usually criticism of other people or from other people. And this is so, so important to remember, because if anything, I want this conversation to stick in your mind, and I want you to remember, oh yeah, remember when Jaya was talking about loving on the haters. So when I choose to love, now again, that does not mean I don't block. It does not mean I don't have strong boundaries. It does not mean I'm not decisive. It means that I choose my reaction. When I choose my reaction in an empowered way, and I don't discount the blessings, because how many times has something happened where you're like, oh, I don't like that that happened. And that energy swells so much that something else of a different nature could have been wanting to come in, but the energy is all swelled up with a certain flavor and a certain vibration that you actually don't desire. You're just focusing on it. And this really is that. This can be as small as, I don't like that that person cut me off in traffic. I don't like that my partner, my husband, my wife is not responding to me the way I desire. I don't like that people are not buying my offer. I don't like that this person is insulting me in my DMs. Now, there may be different intensities to those things, but check it out. Do you want higher intensity blessings? Okay? Just say it out loud. Say it out loud right now. Yes, Jaya, I want higher level blessings. Means higher level intensity. Therefore, people who get highly triggered by people doing good work online and being visible and showing up in their power, those people are higher intensity. They're not lower intensity. They're not meeting you down there with the, this is just fine and mediocre. They're meeting you up there with like, I am a shining star and I'm going to show up in my brilliance and shine no matter fucking what. That's where those people live, because it is the flip side and of equal intensity to those big dreams and to the visibility, meaning just you're being seen for what you have to offer the world. That's where they live. So what do we choose? What do we choose? And recognizing that it's a choice is the best possible thing we can do. Recognizing that this is going to be a choice every step along the way, that there will be situations that arise no matter what level you're at to meet you at the intensity that you are desiring. And to start to recognize, wow, okay, if that level of intensity is coming in around me and my presence, imagine what else is possible. What else is going to come in, because that is where I'm willing to hold my vibration and what I'm willing to be open to. So cool. It's so cool. And this is all just from one negative experience that I could choose to focus on it just being a negative experience and miss all of this amazingness around it. So we don't want to miss all of the good stuff because we're focused on the bad stuff, right? And I think this is ultimately that lesson. You know that quote that people say that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you? I'm going to do either a podcast or a live video about this because I think this is a whole nother conversation, but I want to leave you with this. The idea that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, we could kind of just apply to this, right? Yeah, that seems right. But what I want to say is that a lot of times when it triggers us and we have pain or we're going through a very hard time, we are not always going to jump right to the idea that this is happening for us. Oh, like bitchy message in my DMs? Oh, hey, why is it happening for me? Can this be an amazing YouTube parody? I already see it, right? It's like, my kid just shit on the floor. Whoa, it's happening for me. Everything in your life that you don't like is potential for you to say it's happening for you, but are you going to? Like, are you actually going to see it that way? I don't know. I think sometimes it's easier than others. And so I'm a big fan of actually reframing this and saying, well, while this isn't happening to me because I am not a motherfucking victim, this is potentially going to be for me. But right now, I'm just curious what's in it for me. Okay, so what if we just reframe it and we start to just question, I am so freaking curious, what is in this for me right now? This bitchy text right now? Not sure. Not sure what's in this for me, but I do think there is something. I just don't know what it is yet. So the idea that we have to always know and right away we just go to, oh my gosh, this is for me, is not very realistic. And I just want to leave that with you. And if you like that topic and want to hear more on it, send me a DM, send me a nice DM, and I will be so sweet to you. I'll be sweet to you either way, but you won't get blocked if it's nice, okay? And let me know, because I will do a podcast or a live video on it. So I'd love to know that. And if this touched you in any way and you're like, I felt resonance, this inspired me, I have somebody I think this could serve, please share it out. You could take a screenshot and put it on your Instagram stories. Message me, let me know any aha moments. And yeah, share this one out, because I know there are a lot of people that have a really beautiful message on their heart and they're sitting on it because of fear of ultimately intensity. Fear of intensity. But the big dreams live in intensity. So let's stop holding ourselves back for fear of what may happen and start embracing the good stuff and the bad stuff. Of course, releasing the bad stuff as fast as possible and redeclaring and saying, yep, here's where I focus. Here's where my energy goes. And then we find ourselves being that clear and potent channel for our desires to come in easily. All right. I hope this touched you in exactly the right moment and that you got value from it. And I will see you next time on the Intuitive Empire.